Did The Miz just turn heel and John Morrison is back? I am Chopper Pete Quinnell. This is Randy Andy Dats, and welcome to the WrestleTalk live review of SmackDown, the January 3rd, 2020 edition. I stumbled on my words there. Please give us a like and a subscribe, and get in, if you're watching live, your super chats, because we'll be going through those after the main talking point and at the end of the show as well. And if you're watching on catch up, then leave us a comment as well, letting us know what you thought of the show. But first things first, let's not talk about Wrestle Kingdom 14, because that's just happened.
Yes.
Finished like an hour or two ago. And obviously not everyone is going to have had the chance to watch it.
No.
So please don't talk about spoilers in the chat or in your super chats or in the comments afterwards. So just let people go and watch it first before we talk about it. Let's talk about SmackDown for this show.
First, I just can't believe CM Punk returned in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom.
I know. How crazy was that?
I was really surprised.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, let's not talk about it.
Let's not spoil that for everyone. And let's talk about SmackDown. Let's talk about The Miz. Because, good God, I thought this storyline throughout the show, I thought was great.
It was
the
great.
whole Miz story, I thought was awesome.
Yeah, because it wasn't too sort of, he's a heel. It was sort of, he's frustrated. Mm-hmm. He's even more frustrated. Oh, now he's snapped.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a slow build, and then it's only 2 hours, but it was a
slow build throughout the show.
It was a slow build throughout the show, and it was enjoyable.
Yeah. So it started off at the very start of the show. There was a recap of the Miz Bryan Corbin triple threat from last week, and then Miz and Bryan are backstage, and Miz just goes up to Bryan and just says, I wanted that shot against the Fiend. He invaded my house, and I need to do everything I can to stop the Fiend. But since you won, you earned the right for that match. So, not just for me, for everyone, beat the Fiend at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Which was cool. So you could see he's already quite frustrated that Bryan's beaten him, and he just wants to get back at the Fiend for invading his house. So that already does the first little, nugget of information we get about this turn going. And then later on,
but even then, I didn't think it was. I didn't see the heel turn coming.
No, nor did I. No.
I was just like, okay, he's a frustrated.
Yeah, he's a frustrated babyface.
Babyface.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a completely fine thing to be. You're allowed to, if you lose as a babyface, you are completely entitled to be as frustrated as you like. And I mean, people get frustrated. I don't think they're going to start beating up Kofi Kingston.
No, exactly. Yeah. Spoilers, God.
Oh, sorry.
Miz runs into the New Day backstage later on in the show. Kofi Kingston and Big E, they come in with their 2020 pancakes, and Big E has a great line, and he says, "Oh yeah, I was watching the balls drop." And Kofi's just like, "No, there's just one. What are you watching?" And Big E goes, "I don't know." It was great. They attempt to get the Miz. They kind of, attempt to cheer the Miz up. They're like, "Hey, you won like the most titles in 2010s in WWE. This is awesome. Fist bump it out, all that stuff." And Miz is just like, "It's not about titles." The Fiend invaded my home. What about that? Do you not understand? And then he slaps
also, I'm
the
gluten-free, and then slaps them down.
And slaps the pancakes out of their hands.
Which
and Big E goes to square up, and then Kingston's like, no. I got this.
Yeah.
And he kind of squares up and says, hey, can see, the Fiend's got your head all messed up. That's fine if you want to let out your frustrations. Challenge accepted. So Kingston versus Miz later on, which I thought, again, was really cool. It's a face versus sort of face match, but it's just someone who's really annoyed, who's pissed off someone else who was just trying to cheer them up.
Yeah.
Again, it's a solid story and it makes sense.
It almost felt like Kingston was kind of like, look, do you know what? I can tell you're annoyed. We're not on bad terms. Mm-hmm. You're a frustrated guy. I will let you sort of get your frustration out by having a fight with me.
Exactly. Yeah, and that was it. Yeah. But then I think the best part of this whole show was the match between Kofi Kingston and The Miz of this story. I mean. This was one of the best things on the show because the whole story of the match was Kingston just constantly outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and was just a better wrestler than The Miz throughout the whole match. So Miz just got more and more frustrated as the match went on.
Yeah.
So it just started off, Kingston would do like a little cheeky counter and a roll-up kind of thing, and then he'd be like, oh, got him. He would be over the top with how he'd outsmarted Miz, and he would throw Miz to the outside and be like, whoa, running around the ring. So he was taunting Miz, but he was still a babyface doing it. He was just having fun.
Yeah, there was a period in the match sort of towards the end where there was just counter after counter after counter after counter where you could see that there was just, Miz was just kind of that switch was going in his head. It was like, I have to win this. I have to win this now, because if I don't win this, and he's made, not only is he going to beat me, but he's made me look like a chump while beating me.
Exactly,
and in the end, it's the roll up that does it. There are no finishes hit in this match at all, but it's a sort of, I don't know.
It was a skull crushing finale that was counted into a roll up.
Yeah, which is a kind of, it wasn't, like it was a roll up. It was sitting on him.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't even that thing where you often see when someone turns heel, which is they lose, and then they sit there for a while going, "Oh man, I suck.
I'm so bummed.
I'm the worst."
And then like the babyface will go for a handshake, and then they refuse it, and then they start.
But it was literally
no.
crap. I've been pinned. Then he just went, that's it.
I'm so frustrated.
I'm done. And he just attacks Kingston with what Michael Cole called, was it like a brutal beatdown? I think he landed like 4 punches.
Yeah, something like that.
And then Big E runs in and Miz goes, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, and runs
sort
away.
of walks off looking, and then he sort of starts shouting at the crowd. Like, he's like, after everything I've been through, you're booing me.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried so hard.
I've given you everything.
Yeah. And which
he's a justified heel because he's so frustrated about the Fiend getting to him, and he can't get back at the Fiend, and now he's trying to vent his frustrations by having a match with Kingston, which he got made to look like a chump in, and he lost. So he was just so pent up with aggression that he just lashed out at Kingston. So it's not like you're a dick now. It's just like, you're a frustrated man, and I understand that frustration.
Do you know what he needs?
What does he need?
He needs a friend.
That is a very good segue into what happens later. Because Kathy Kelly, to kind of top this whole story off, Kathy Kelly's backstage attempting to knock on the Miz's dressing room door to find out some answers of what's going on. But Miz doesn't answer. John Morrison answers instead.
Whoa.
What a shocking return that is.
So we kind of knew this was coming because they spoiled it ages ago.
Yeah.
By having him on
WWE backstage.
No, the bump. He was
was
on.
it the bump?
It was
I thought on backstage.
They announced it on backstage.
That's
they
right,
had him on the bump. So you all knew it was coming. And then PW Insider reported last night, oh, by the way, he's been spotted in the area. Don't be surprised if he's on it. And so when he comes out, and by the way, Kathy just went, "Oh,
John Morrison."
But he just kind of comes out and everyone goes, "Oh, cool." But there was no...
There wasn't really a reaction for him at all.
For example, if the match had finished, Miz was fighting Kingston, Big E comes in, but then Morrison runs in to blindside Big E, there'd been a much bigger reaction and a much more kind of... I don't know, it would have just meant so much more. But to have him walk out of a room and go, "Miz doesn't have anything to say to you right now," and then walk back in again, you're like, okay.
I think, though, and I know I'm in the minority on this, because I've seen comments from my edited SmackDown review that I did earlier. I know I'm in the minority. I liked this. Because
I did not like it. I just thought that they could have been done. Just do it better.
Because I think... if they'd have done what you said, if they'd have had Morrison come out, blindside Big E, and save Miz from, a beatdown from Big E or whatever, that's not as interesting as this story is. Because Miz hasn't fully turned heel.
No.
He's just a frustrated dude, and we don't know what Morrison's doing.
No.
Morrison's with him, but he's not with him. Is he a face? Is he a heel? Is he going to be in Miz's ear saying things? I don't know.
He might just be a friend. So on the bump, when he appeared on it, they did a whole segment, which was that they had like Miz on satellite call.
Yeah.
And they talked about like reforming their partnership.
Yeah.
And what probably happened is WWE were kind of looking at that, and they saw lots of comments saying, "Oh, that'd be cool, that'd be cool." And they go, "All right, we haven't got any other ideas for him."
The other part of this as well is that if they are reforming Miz and Morrison, which it looks like they are, that's another part of Bray Wyatt changing someone's character back to what they were before.
What if Miz changes back to his like
chick magnet,
his like shorts, his like 3/4 length shorts,
and his hat,
and his mohawk,
and a hat.
Yeah. And then Melina comes back as well.
Yeah, wait,
no, that was the different tag team.
That's a different tag team.
Wrong tag team.
Come on,
sorry
man.
everyone.
But the thing is, I'm never going to claim that I'm John Morrison's biggest fan or anything. I thought he was alright back in the day. But what I did really like was the Dirt Sheet, which was the show that Miz and Morrison did way back in the day. And it was so far ahead of its time. It's crazy. I went back and because of this segment, I went and watched some highlights of it earlier today, and it is really funny. There's some stuff that's jokes that aren't quite,
2020.
Yeah, they're not appropriate these days, which they wouldn't have to do.
Should have had 2020 vision.
That's like the 17th time I've heard that joke, and it annoys me so much more every time because I called it in early December and I did a tweet. You guys can go and find it.
You're
I can't wait.
You're the only person who called it as well.
I cannot wait for the wave of people to do that, and every single one of them going to think they're a comedic genius, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's so funny! You should do stand-up. It's such a funny joke."
I would never make that joke.
Anyway, what I really liked was the dirt sheet. That show was hilarious, and like I said, way ahead of its time. If they managed to bring that back, maybe like an amalgamation of Miz TV with like a live dirt sheet thing with Morrison again.
Moz TV.
And that would be... One, it furthers the Fiend again, because it would now be Seth and Finn and Bryan and Miz that he's all turned back into previous versions of themselves.
I can definitely see, as a way to bring back Morrison further, is for there to be a Miz TV next week. Special guest, John Morrison.
Special
and
guest
they kind
John
of
Morrison.
talk about it, and then that's how they sort of build a rapport again, and that's how they kind of illustrate how these two were always friends. Like Miz missed him, and like they always wanted to be come back together. And now that he's back, he wants to reform it, and then in 4 months they can feud.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'd keep them together for a lot longer than that, but I think not going so overt to just be like, they are heels now, and I think having like a more subtle story playing out, I think is much more effective for this story, especially when the story is so intrinsically linked to something like The Fiend. I think having Morrison come out and you don't quite know whether they're faces or heels, and Miz's motivations are, understandable, but they're not necessarily good. I think it's much more interesting doing it this way.
So, and now that they've got, spoilers, Usos back as well, the SmackDown tag team division looks so different.
Yeah.
Because prior to this show, we had
The New Day.
The New Day. And then and also because we know the Revival are leaving, so that they're not going to get booked.
And now they're being booked as comedy acts.
We had Heavy Machinery, who are in a different kind of storyline with Mandy Rose and whatever. We've got the B team, who they're a joke. Is there anyone else? I mean, I guess you got like Corbin and Ziggler, and
are
like
the
Rude and
Colognes
Ziggler.
still employed?
Well, Primo's still on his thing, maybe.
That's true. He's suspended, isn't he?
But I mean, Rude will be back soon, so I guess then you've got Rude and Ziggler again.
Ugh, that's not a tag team.
Yeah, I just think. I mean, neither Raw or SmackDown has a better one as a particularly good tag team division. I mean, you've got AOP on Raw, which is probably their best one. But
Yeah, totally.
yeah,
I don't know.
whatever.
But either way, I think this was a pretty good way to bring back Morrison. But because the thing is, that big return pop that we all wanted, I don't think was going to happen regardless of what they did, because we all knew he was coming.
Yeah.
So I think they'd already announced him on backstage. They'd had him on the bump, and there was the report the previous night saying that he was going to be there. So even if they'd done some big, here's John Morrison in the ring, it still wouldn't have got the big, like, oh my God, it's John Morrison, because everyone knew he was going to come back at some point. So I think having it this way and kind of not treating the fans like idiots and just saying, hey, you all knew he was coming, here he is, and he's with Miz, and he's already part of a story. He's not coming out and doing squash matches for 10 weeks. He's not cutting a promo in a corridor for 5 weeks before he does anything. He's just here and he's in a story straight away. I think it's a great return.
Do you think by the most important show of the year, Fastlane,
Yes.
that Miz and Morrison will be completely, like, overtly heel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Maybe by Elimination Chamber. Is Elimination Chamber first after Rumble, and then it's Fastlane, and then Mania?
I think
Sounds
so.
familiar.
So Elimination Chamber is usually mid-February.
Yes.
Fastlane is
in March.
Is sort of mid-March.
Yeah, and then it's
you've got
Mania.
WrestleMania on the first
Which is-
weekend of
it's
April.
beginning of April. Yeah. I'm thinking either by Chamber or maybe during Elimination Chamber, there'll be kind of an overt heel tag team, and I think it will be great, and especially now with the Usos coming back as faces. I think we've got a solid tag team division for them to go against as well.
Absolutely.
But let's see what you guys thought. Let's get into some super chats. We've got one here from Asai Fakire, who said, now that Miz, Morrison, Ryder, and Ziggler are all in the same company again, I think they would make a fun faction with great chemistry.
Wait, who was it again, sorry?
Miz, Morrison, Ryder, and Ziggler. I mean, what would they be called? We're the mid-carders from 2010?
Miz, Morrison, Ryder. I don't want to see that.
Not particularly,
Sorry.
no.
Asaya. Yeah, no, it's too many people, too many mid-card heels, and we know that WWE can't book that at the moment.
Absolutely not, yeah.
So, no, just keep...
I think just Miz and Morrison.
So I know Ryder and Ziggler, sort of, they've got their thing, but... no, Ziggler's doing his own thing now.
Yeah, totally.
Ryder's a jobber. No, it wouldn't be convincing.
We've got another SmackDown-related super chat here. Joe Libro said, did you notice that Daniel Bryan said that he's the only one that didn't change after The Fiend? This could be a good storyline where he doesn't know he has. Well, he said he's the only one to not mentally break, and I think by that what he meant was, I'm the only one to not turn heel. Is what he meant without actually saying it.
I mean, I like the message, though.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that would be really, really cool if he's kind of...
But I think that's a heel...
Yeah.
I think that's a heel kind of gimmick where you I haven't changed, but you're actually an idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think that's the way they're going to go, because he is quite clearly... They're not going to turn him heel again. So yeah, I think he's quite outwardly a face now. So I don't think that's the way they're doing it, but I like the idea. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. We'll do a couple more. We've got one here just from WrestleTalk related ones now. Got one here from Dwayne Cooley, said, I like Randy, but where's Dave? He is elsewhere. Is the nicest way to put it. Yeah.
He's just he's not doing the SmackDown anymore.
Yeah. Not saying that he won't be doing anything WrestleTalk related ever again. Yeah. But for now he's not.
For
doing
now
SmackDown.
he's not doing SmackDown.
Yeah.
So but thank you for liking me.
Yeah, that is nice, isn't it? And then we've got one from Kevin. Who says, I'd love to see a Randy stand-up special just to listen to the beautiful silence after every joke. I mean, that's such a backhanded compliment. I love it.
Well, the thing is, the jokes I tell are bad on purpose.
Oh, totally.
So once I start telling really good jokes, and I'm full of them, I'm glad they are working in the way I want them to work, which is to not be funny.
Groans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I live off groans.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's get into the main show. Let's get into the rest of the show. And the show started off with that Miz Bryan promo that we mentioned before. And then we got a women's match. It's not King Corbin to open the show. Hallelujah. Jesus. So it's Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke.
Lena, the 2010 Eurovision winning German. Is that what you meant?
How do you know that? Each of the teams cut a little promo before the match starts. Don't Google it. Don't Google live on air. Come on now.
Yep, you're on 2010.
Oh, God, it is as well. Jesus. Anyway, each of the teams cut a little promo to start this off. Banks and Bayley just being like... And I think someone jumped the gun on their cue here, because Banks and Bayley were saying, you're all pathetic. You have pathetic lives. We've made changes in 2020.
As Bayley says, Lacey Evans' music hits, and Lacey Evans walks out and goes, you just can't keep my daughter's name out of your mouth. Bearing in mind that neither Bayley or Sasha Banks had even started talking about Lacey Evans, let alone her daughter.
Yeah.
So it sounded like they were just about to start talking about Lacey Evans, and then someone went,
that's my cue.
Pressed the button accidentally with
They
her
said
elbow.
Lacey. That's my cue.
And Lacey Evans comes out, cuts a
fine promo.
Cuts a southern promo.
Yeah, it was fine.
And then my favourite bit, because I was thinking, okay, this is a fun match, but why, other than the fact that they presented a moment of bliss last week, are Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in this match? Because they didn't get physical with anyone.
Yeah.
And then out comes Alexa Bliss and says, why are we in this match? I'm going, why are you in this match? I completely agree. But then Nikki Cross goes, but no, sweet. No, Alexa, we need to get back our tag team championships. And Alexa goes, oh yeah, that's why.
That's a good point.
And it was.
And I'm joined by Lorraine Kelly today,
It was
everyone.
a fun, good match to open, and it was a really nice change from what we've had for the last...
Forever.
It wasn't a 20-minute promo. It was a match. It was a good match. It was a fun match.
It was.
The ending was a bit rough. But let's talk about the match anyway.
I thought that everyone looked pretty good in this match. I thought that Dana Brooke has improved again massively.
However,
are you going to talk about the finish?
No.
Because we'll get to that. Okay.
I'm going to talk about when she just did a cartwheel and then just kicked Bailey or Sasha in the face. I was like, why did you do that? You could have walked there. But she does this. I can't do a cartwheel. Are you
trying to apply logic to wrestling?
Because she does that like handspring elbow.
Yes.
Which is just about acceptable.
And that's totally
because
acceptable.
It's in the same movement.
It's totally acceptable.
It's in the same movement. But this was cartwheel, kick. And it was like, all right, Dana. To be honest, I'm not crapping on Dana because I think she's improved so much in this feud. And they were even kind of putting her over on commentary, which they hadn't really done before. They were saying, like, there was one time where she was like really like tipped as like a hot star, and she's kind of getting back to that level now. And every week she seems to have a new move. Almost,
yeah, totally. Yeah.
Even if it is a cartwheel kick. But yeah, no, I just really like what they're doing with her. I know she's more of a kind of fall guy, but and to be honest, the fact that she got the pin really shocked me, which is I like being. They know. I like being shocked when I watch wrestling because that doesn't happen very much anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I thought Alexa looked really good in this match as well. She did some kind of babyface, almost like technical wrestling, mat wrestling sequences, and I thought they looked really, really good.
And it's nice to see that the crowd hasn't lost interest in Alexa because that would have been very easy because she has not been on TV
really
much.
Done anything for
the last
ages.
year because she got that concussion around like Evolution times, which was October 2018. And so she's probably wrestled less than sort of 15, 20 matches since then.
Yeah.
So it's good that she is still popular enough to get a good reaction.
For sure. There was a nice little sequence where Alexa was on top. She kind of climbed to the top turnbuckle. Bailey pushed her from the top rope. She sat down in the corner from the impact, straight into a double knees from Sasha Banks. It was like a really smooth looking sequence. Bailey and Sasha were really good as heels to retain the heat. And the ending came. Hot tag to Lacey. Did a really good babyface hot tag.
Yeah.
She came in, she did a standing moonsault, which looked really, really cool. She missed the big jumping moonsault that she does from the top. But then she came back. She hits a women's right onto Sasha Banks. Gets the tag to Dana. She hits a senton onto Sasha Banks for the win. Now, this senton looked rough.
It did. So
man.
It was a good women's right, and she was in the perfect position. But
I think Dana undershot.
Dana has hit quite a few sentons in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But she looked like she almost kind of pulled her body back from this one.
Yeah.
It looked like she wasn't confident in what she was doing.
Yeah. Maybe she was gassed or something. I don't know.
Instead of landing where... I mean, if you've watched Jeff Hardy do it, he generally lands on the top of his back on their chest, and so the actual contact is pretty minimal.
Yeah, so he kind of just rolls off almost.
But Dana landed.
Dana just landed full force, man.
On her own shoulders, but also like back and bum first.
Yeah.
Onto Sasha's like kind of stomach. It looked really painful.
Awful. It was literally like instead of coming in and just kind of rolling off like so, it was literally
just thump.
Full force
and you could see after the match Sasha was going, I really wish you hadn't done that.
Could you not do that again?
Yeah, no, but even when she hit the move, I was thinking Sasha's kicking out.
Yeah.
But I guess that's, I mean, they seem to be an actual
women's right plus that.
They seem to be, I mean, I'm going forward, I imagine Dana will be more of a manager role and who will be in matches when Lacey needs a tag partner.
Possibly.
But...
Or they might split after this feud.
It was fun to see them have like a tag, almost a tag finisher, which is a kind of women's right into the senton.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will kind of execute it better next week.
Yeah, no, but regardless of that finish though, so that it was a great match. Everyone looked really good when they needed to. Thumbs up. More time given to this match as well than we've seen in the women's division.
But they're still protecting Bailey, so it still looks like it's going to be
it's Lacey Sasha next week.
Lacey Sasha next week, but they haven't fully announced Lacey Bailey.
No,
but
that's probably going to be the way they go.
Yeah, Lacey Bailey for the Rumble.
Yes,
which
that's probably most likely.
Kind of has to be the way.
And I think Lacey's going to win as well.
Which means that they need to find another 2 spots for people in the Rumble match.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of,
could
it be the Bella? The Bella, Nikki Bella, who got engaged yesterday. Well, not engaged yesterday.
Congratulations,
She's been engaged since November, but congratulations to her and Artem Chigvintsev.
The fact you can say his name properly.
I used to watch Strictly Come Dancing a lot.
I bet you did.
My mum
Randy.
My mum really likes it. He doesn't do it anymore. He does Dancing with the Stars, so that's how they met. So congratulations to them.
Yeah.
On their engagement.
And we're joined by her.
Congratulations to you
live on the set.
On your engagement, Pete.
That's not new. God.
Happy birthday.
Sucks. I hate everything. We get a recap of the Ziggler and Mandy Rose stuff from last week. And then Mandy comes up to Otis, and Otis is like, "Hey, Mandy," and then she's like, "Oh, Otis." I can't remember what she says. Something to him, and then he's just like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like really, like Kurt, not looking at her. Kurt short answers, and then Tucker comes in, and is like, "Oh, you got to focus on your match. Come on, let's go." And they just leave her.
Well, she kind of
It's so tense.
She goes. I guess you saw what happened last week, and he's like, "No, but my mama did." And then like, "Oh, is she? But has she made anything this week?" No. And then so he's upset because he fancies her.
No. Does he?
And I think either she's beginning to fancy him, and why wouldn't you?
He's Otis.
Or she just feels really bad for what happened, which
it's possible.
I guess she's now a baby face.
Not yet. I don't think.
No.
But I think the culmination of this feud will be them kissing. Mandy turns face.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Absolutely.
But then Sonya and Mandy will split. Sonya will feel betrayed.
Sonya
and Mandy feud.
Sonya and Tucker will get together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because then Tucker will feel left out. And then Heavy Machinery split. And then they have a mixed tag match.
Sonya was pitching that LGBT storyline for so long. They went, "No, you're dating Tucker
You're dating Tucker instead."
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Anyway, then we get the Miz New Day segment that we mentioned before. Elias then does a song, which is all right. It's not offensive.
So
it's funny occasionally.
Says,
I don't really care.
Please send Shane to Raw.
Yeah. Everyone's going to walk with Elias at the Rumble.
Dolph sucks, and Baron is a STD.
Yeah, that's about it. It was funny enough, and he said that everyone's going to walk with Elias at the Rumble.
He's just better as a heel.
Cool.
So it sounds. I guess that was him kind of unofficially.
That's him entering.
That was
the Rumble,
unofficially entering into the match.
Yeah, totally.
But then we got a backstage segment again with Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson of the Revival, and in walks Shorty G.
Yeah, so they were complaining about the Miracle on 34th Street fight that they had with Heavy Machinery, and Shorty G's just like, "Hey man, just embrace who you are. That's what I did, and it's the best decision I ever made." And they're like, "Oh, we never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that you were such a nerd. You're so short." Etc.
So I looked it up. There's 5 centimeters between the two of them, which
about right, yeah.
is that much.
Yeah,
Which
it's not much.
no, I mean it may matter.
He's just so short,
it matters
Randy.
in some circumstances. But so they are 1.78 m.
Yeah.
And he's 173. I thought they were really short. I'm 178. So I'm
167.
Oh. Are you? I thought I was much shorter. But anyway, so they're not actually that short.
No.
They just are much more muscly than me, and therefore they look more square.
Yes.
But
But also, Shorty G is just so short. Do you not understand how short he is? He's
he's almost as short as you.
2 foot tall.
He is a short man. So he can't win wrestling matches apart from this one.
Apart from when he wins wrestling matches, because he had a singles match against Dash Wilder, lasted a few minutes. He won with an ankle lock.
Within seconds of... he put it in and he was tapping.
Oh, he was tapping pretty much immediately after he got it in, yeah. And then immediately Dawson runs in, who was on commentary, runs in and just beats down them. Yeah. They hit a shatter machine on Shorty G. But look, who's here to save him? It's Sheamus!
Yeah.
Okay. And then he comes in and the Revival go, "Here, have Shorty G," and then they run off.
I don't think anyone was fooled that he was going to be anything other than a heel.
Especially because when he came back in 2015, he did this exact same thing. When he came back with the Mohawk, came in and he was like, "Oh, I'm a face, guys. Just kidding, bro kick." Yeah. And he did exactly the same thing here. Bro kick Shorty G, and then he just stood tall and walked out. Also, he's in incredible shape.
He is, however...
He's a man. Love Sheamus.
It's cool to see him back.
Yeah.
But I think it is a massive Sheamus that he is back in kind of just to kick Shorty G in the face. Because now all we're going to have is Sheamus beat Shorty G next week. So yeah, just a massive Sheamus.
1, bad joke. 2, so you're not happy with Morrison's return because you felt like he should have come back and hit something big. And then Sheamus comes back and hits something big, and you're like, "No, it's bad!"
What I mean is that I feel like he could have kicked someone who wasn't who I didn't like.
Who wasn't Shorty G?
I'm not going to call him that. I really like Chad Gable.
Yeah.
And there's no way he's winning this feud.
I don't think it's a feud.
Absolutely no
I don't
way.
think it's a feud.
I think it might be a match.
There might be a match in it. I don't even know if there's going to be a match in it. It might just be Sheamus coming out and kicking someone else.
I think there's going to be a 3-minute match this week. Okay, here's my prediction.
Okay,
bold prediction. Kathy Kelly or Kayla Braxton, one of the women backstage, goes, I'm joined by Shorty G. He comes out and goes, oh man, well I won my match last week, but it was really kind of turned sour because Sheamus attacked me, but I need to show that guy that he can't just bully me. Goes out, loses in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you don't see Chad Gable for weeks.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, it seems familiar.
But then Sheamus will probably feud with
Mustafa Ali.
There you go. Good call, because he can bump.
Yep. Then we got the Kingston Miz match that we talked about before. We get a promo backstage. Kathy Kelly is with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, and they cut a nice promo saying that if Bryan wins at the Royal Rumble and Reigns wins the Rumble, then it's going to be Reigns versus Bryan at WrestleMania.
Whoa.
And they're like, wouldn't that be cool? And then Bryan's like, you trying to get me fired up? Because I'm going to be double ready at WrestleMania, etc.
I'm still not used to seeing him with short hair.
Well, get used to it.
I just think it looks... I like the slightly longer hair. Daniel...
You are
if you want
the most picky man I've ever met in my life.
If you want fashion tips from me, I mean, I'm wearing a new coat today, everyone.
Take fashion tips from Del Boy over here.
Yeah, I think... He just looks better with just slightly longer hair. Not the beard, just slightly longer hair. When he was SmackDown general manager, when his speech that he gave, when he returned, that was when he was most handsome.
Sure. Anyway, it was a cool promo, and I think it would be a nice throwback moment if it does end up happening that Bryan wins and Reigns wins the Rumble.
Yeah.
It would be nice to go back to this promo and be like, they did mention it beforehand. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, that would be super rad.
Yes.
Then we have the John Morrison return that we mentioned before. Then we have Otis coming out for his match against Drew Gulak. Gulak comes out and runs him down and says, Mandy Rose will never date you. Here's a PowerPoint presentation as to why.
I liked it when he said, you look like you're leaking butter.
Good. It's a good line.
But yet, I don't think I'm the only one who actually kind of wanted to see a few more slides.
Everyone wants to see more slides. That's the point.
It was one slide, and you knew it was a lot of slides because it said in the bottom corner, one slide of 372 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But then immediately Otis throws him to the ring, and it's probably a 1.5-minute squash.
Yeah, totally. They cut backstage a couple of times during this match, and Mandy and Sonya are watching the match. Then they cut back another time, and Dolph Ziggler's there talking to Mandy Rose.
Dolph.
God, that jock!
Dolph, you've already got one bad storyline. Why can't you?
Hey, this is a good storyline.
Yeah, it is.
This is very simple storytelling.
Yes.
It's just enjoyable and easy to get along with, I think.
But I think there's going to be a match. There'll be a match between Otis and Dolph. Yeah. I think this is leading to a winner gets the girl.
Oh, God, no. I hope not.
I can 100%. Shark cage.
Mandy in a shark cage
Mandy
match.
in a shark cage
Mandy
match.
on a pole match.
With
now. Can't do that.
Otis Dozovich. Did I just call him that?
Yeah, you did.
It's not his name anymore, guys.
Tucker
Knight and Otis Dozovich.
It's not been that for ages,
and Nick Nemeth will have a fight. And it will be over Mandy, I guarantee.
It's going to be over Mandy, but I don't think the stipulation will literally be whoever wins gets Mandy.
Okay, yeah, so Otis will win, and Mandy will be so impressed.
Yes,
that
that's
she
more like
will.
It. Yes. She'll give him a kiss.
She'll give him a kiss, and maybe she'll make her own cake for Otis.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, maybe she'll do that next week as an apology for what happened with Ziggler, and Otis is just like, hey, I'm still mad at you, but also cake.
Make him some nice baps.
Then we get Braun Strowman versus Cesaro next, which was a pretty quick match, but I thought it was still fun. It was a pretty decent one because we had Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura on the outside. Yep. They were doing some good interference work, classic, like good, solid heel work. Cesaro was great, uppercuts and drop kicks and all sorts of stuff. He's awesome. And finish came when Cesaro goes for a neutralizer on Strowman, who just powers him up into a power slam and hits it for the win.
I feel like I'm being picky here. I actually really enjoyed this show. Like, I really enjoyed the show. However, I'm going to be Mr. Negative. It's not what I didn't like.
What didn't you like?
I've never liked.
Yeah.
I like the spot where he runs around the ring and runs into people. What I don't like...
You're in the minority on that one, I think.
Is how he stands there in the middle and goes... because that just makes it look really goofy.
He's Braun he did a dance last week with the New Day. Of course it's goofy.
I don't like him being made to look goofy. He's Braun Strowman. But I just think it's like, if you want to kind of surprise people by running around the ring, don't waste 5 seconds swinging your hand around your head.
Are you trying to apply logic to wrestling?
Yes.
Stop it.
There should be more, there should be more logic.
No, they shouldn't. But then immediately after this match finishes, Strowman gets a win with the power slam. As he's getting up, Shinsuke Nakamura comes in and hits him with a Kinshasa to, further that feud that's probably going to culminate a Royal Rumble, which will be Strowman versus Nakamura for the IC title.
Yes. Well, and then I think it has to be now.
Yeah, totally.
Because, there's, he pinned him last week. He's got his own back this week.
Yep.
This will be tweeted any day now.
Yep. And it'll be at the Rumble. And then we get to the main event, which is Bryan and Reigns versus Corbin and Ziggler. And my first thing was, it's genuinely refreshing to only see Corbin once on this show. And it's not that I'm excited to see him, but I'm a lot more receptive to him
and
I see him once.
Seeing him once was like, okay, it's Baron Corbin. It wasn't like...
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh...
It's Baron Corbin again.
Corbin again. I would just, when he'd made his entrance, I was like, oh, King Corbin.
One segment is enough, not just for Baron Corbin, but for everyone.
Yeah, for almost every person.
I don't mind if it's like a 30-second promo kind of earlier in the show saying, oh, I've got this match later, I hope I win, blah, blah. That's fine. Yeah. But if you have...
a 20-minute promo,
then a backstage segment where he runs down someone for 5 minutes, and then you have a match, you're thinking... Right, okay.
This is too much of you.
Too much of anyone. It could be anyone.
Yeah. But this was a pretty decent match once again. Bryan takes control pretty early. He throws Ziggler to the outside, and when he's by himself in the ring, Wyatt's laugh rings out through the arena, and the lights flicker, and then it cuts to an ad break. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess the Fiend's not coming out then.
I like to think that Wyatt's sitting there backstage with all the lights,
with all the lights
going,
he's literally just got like one switch, just flicking back and forwards. And then after the ad break, we come back, and I just put, Bryan is great. Nice hot tag to him, which it was. It was a really nice hot tag to Bryan. Corbin breaks up the label lock that he had on Ziggler. There's a spear to Corbin. There's a running knee to Ziggler, which looks like Bryan has got the win, but then lights cut out. Fiend comes out.
Oh my God, he's right
nowhere.
In front of us.
I know. Bryan does a suicide dive onto him straight away. He's just not scared of him. He just dives straight on him. And but then he grabs him in a claw and claws him through the barricade, which I thought was cool because a lot of times we've just seen him kind of go claw to the floor kind of thing. But this one was claw push through the barricade, which was nice.
The Fiend, as they've proved over and over, is a terrible wrestler.
He's bad, isn't he?
All he does is get hit by things, and then
hit a move.
He runs it like his superpower is that he is resilient and he doesn't get hurt by these things. But he's so clumsy.
Doesn't feel pain, man.
He just runs at Daniel Bryan, who gets out of the way, just keeps running into the post, which I know is a classic spot. But it's kind of like,
again, are you trying to apply logic to wrestling?
But the Fiend is just a rubbish wrestler.
We're not saying Bray Wyatt is a bad wrestler.
No. But when
the Fiend character in kayfabe is a bad wrestler because he gets hit by a lot of things.
So like I said, I really, like you said, the mandible claw spot through the barricade. We haven't really seen, I don't think we've seen that one yet.
Don't think so.
So no, it was really cool.
It was really cool.
To see Mandible Corbin make the most of this. So then it was Corbin and Ziggler make the most of this, kind of beat him down a bit more.
Yeah, and Reigns goes over to check on Bryan, and then they jump on him and beat him down some
Exactly. More. And then you're thinking, and then they get out the handcuffs again, and you're thinking,
dog food.
Right, again. And then they get out, and not just one can of dog food.
Like
not just
3
2 cans of dog food, but like 3 or 4 cans of dog food. And they take a very long time to open them and stand there with them because they're going.
It's like they're Montez Ford holding up their red Solo cup. They're just like standing there, like, waiting. Wait, come on. This is your cue. You went earlier for Lacey Evans. Come on, where's my spot? Uso's music hits.
Yeah.
They run down, double super kick to Ziggler. I don't think they hit Corbin. I think Corbin runs off. They just get in the ring, undo the handcuffs, and they stand tall with Reigns. Usos are back. Yay! End of the show.
But was that the end of the show? There was a moment just at the end there, which was... So, many of you know that in the last year, Jimmy Uso has been in a bit of a trouble with the law. And actually, I don't know which brother it was, but at the end of the show, by the way, he's been cleared of all charges. So
Yeah, it's alleged.
So one of them picks up the handcuffs and kind of looks at them like, stupid handcuffs.
Stupid handcuffs, and then
someone's going to tell us in the comments which brother it was, but I'm assuming it's Jimmy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess he's making light of the situation now, which is probably better than not.
I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know if that was kind of a look at the things I've done outside the ring, or it was these handcuffs can't keep my oofs down. Roman Reigns over here.
There's only one penitentiary here, and it's our one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's
probably that.
Cool to see them back. Wild prediction. It'll be Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and I imagine Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode's got to be coming back soon.
That'll be the next feud for the next few weeks.
Absolutely.
Maybe leading to a six-man at Elimination Chamber.
Chamber match.
I imagine Roman will either, if he doesn't win the Rumble, he'll be in the Chamber match. So anyway, but that seems to be where they're going now. But yeah, that was the
show. And honestly, overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I thought that there wasn't anything bad per se, and I thought that the returns were pretty good. I thought that the good stuff was really good. The Miz storyline I thought was told perfectly throughout the show. So it's a 4 out of 5 for me. I thought it was really, really good.
It was the best. It was the best SmackDown of the year.
I knew you were going to say that. As soon as we came in for this episode, I was like, well, it's the first episode of the year. Randy's going to make the joke of the best SmackDown of the year.
But no, it was the best SmackDown since I've been doing.
Since you've been doing.
Since I've been doing this by a long way, and that I don't know, what's that like 6 weeks now, 5 weeks,
4 weeks.
It's been forever.
It's been a while, yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a good show, and do you know the reason is because they did good matches and longer matches as well.
They did longer matches that didn't drag out. It wasn't just rest holds constantly, and they told good stories.
And the women's match, we didn't have two 2-minute women's match. We had one 10-minute women's match, and that just immediately feels so much more substantial.
Definitely.
And it didn't. And the finish meant something as well. It wasn't just here's Carmella beating Sonya Deville.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Let's
see what you guys thought. We've got the community tab poll that we did earlier. There's currently 4.4 thousand votes. And currently the most is a 4 out of 5. 44% of people voting for Smacktastic. 37% shortly behind voting for Smack Bang in the middle. So very much in that the 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5 bracket.
But very few people giving it a Smackdown or a Smack in the face.
So it's literally a split between Smacknificent, 5 out of 5 being 6%, Smackdowner 7%, and a Smack in the face 6%.
Well done WWE for putting on a decent show this week.
Yeah. 3 or 4 out of 5, all round thumbs up from these guys right here. But let's see what else you guys thought. Let's get into some more super chats. We got one from Wilson Simons here about the John Morrison Miz stuff. Said, Jomo and Miz meet up at a nightclub and Miz cheats on Maurice. Morrison brings out the chick magnet side of Miz and they go back to the dirt sheet heel team. Keep up the great work, lads. Let's not do the whole cheating thing because he's got 2 kids and it's not getting into the whole thing.
I just don't want to see another relationship storyline for a good 3 decades.
Yes. So not the relationship stuff. However, Dirt Sheet, totally cool with. I'd be well cool with that. We've got some general SmackDown related super chats now. Kevin says, has there been a return/debut lately that wasn't leaked, spoiled, or reported? I think that's why Sheamus and Jomo's returns felt flat. Sheamus's return was because he's done the same promo for 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
That's why it fell flat. Jomo's one, even if it had been reported by PW Insider the night before, the vast majority of SmackDown viewers wouldn't have seen that. So it's their own doing that they've reported it on backstage and had him on the bump. So then people have seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the last, it wasn't a return, but the last time I was properly shocked by someone was Jon Moxley. I mean, I kind of thought he was coming to AEW.
Yeah.
But when he did, I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Jake Hager. But on WWE, it's generally...
It's more well-known,
leaked.
I think. It's more commonly leaked for Doda. I can't think of one recently, but...
Yeah.
Caleb Maldonado said, Elias mentioned Shane again could set up a match.
Oh, please don't.
I mean, Elias was part of Shane's posse, so, the story's there.
Neither are good in the ring. I don't want to say that.
No. We got some general WWE related super chats now. Gazatola of Rock and Roller said, WWE are finished on Sky. You guys are now my source for all main roster goings on between pay-per-views. If it weren't for NXT, I'd have cancelled the network. Well, hopefully we can provide all the content that you need to keep up to date.
Luckily, I hope he's not watching this, but in May, one of my friends, because it was the Champions League final, and the BT Sport was showing the Champions League final, and he logged into BT Sport with his dad's account on my laptop and clicked remember credentials. So I've been able to watch BT Sport ever since then.
Nice. That's very good.
So that's the only reason I can now watch WWE. I've seen a lot of people complaining because the BT Sport's saying, oh yeah, it's over to us now. But if you don't have a package that contains BT Sport, it's an extra £25 a month.
Oof.
Which
I mean, Sky's pretty pricey, right?
Yeah, and Sky on its own is pretty pricey. So,
Yeah.
and the thing for most sports fans is that most of the sports are still on Sky.
Yeah.
Like BT Sport is mainly football.
Yeah.
And if you don't like football, then there's not a lot of point in getting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see why people are upset. £25 if you don't. £25 isn't just like £25 a month for a year is what, like, quickly work it out.
£2 and a bit per month. £25 a year.
No, £25 a month times 12
for a year.
Yeah, is £300. So that's
Sure.
in a year. That's not exactly like that's not something you just give away if you don't have it. So.
Yeah. We got one here from Michael Dominguez, WrestleTalk related super chat now, who just says, Pete and Randy, how was Christmas? What did you eat/do? I think we've actually gone through this on the podcast bits.
I ate everything.
The bonus podcast intros and outros you get if you listen to the podcast version.
I think we both just kind of spent it with our families.
We did.
And ate
a lot of things.
Loads of food, like your classic. I have 2 Christmas dinners a year because I'm half Swedish, half English, so I have the Swedish on the 24th. English on the 25th, so lots of like classic Swedish things, meatballs, like ham and like herring and things like that. I don't really like herring, but on so there's the classic English Christmas dinner on the 25th.
Same. We got the last one here as a miscellaneous super chat. I'd like you to read out the username for this one, please, Randy.
Spikebite Gaming.
Why did you do it in that voice?
I don't know.
He said, "Hey boys, so last week I told y'all I got engaged."
Like you.
Not me. Andy, my name is Germanic, but I live in Texas.
Okay.
Do you still want an invite? Lol.
Um,
Yes, obviously.
I've already been invited to when is it? Because I've already been invited to a wedding in Texas in October next year.
It's probably that one.
I've never been to one.
Never been to a wedding?
No, but
Oh, wow.
Cody Brooks
Yes.
is getting married next
Oh, really?
October.
Are you going to it?
So I've been invited, not just to the wedding, but he wants me to be one of his groomsmen.
Oh, wow.
Which I've never done. And he wants me to wear because Cody is, fun fact, Cody's like Scottish heritage. And he wants
I don't think people know who Cody is, by the way. Might need to
Cody
tell them
is
that.
the nicest man in the world. Joint with Dan.
What does he do? How do we know Cody?
He's a writer for the website. And
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
He does lots of our like cool thumbnails and graphics and things like that.
Yes.
And he's incredibly just creative and brilliant.
He's great.
But yeah, he wants me to wear a kilt for the wedding. So I will, in the next few weeks, or the next time I have some money, I will apply for a US visa. Because I didn't know that US visas cost like £100.
Oh, they're expensive, yeah. They're pricey as well.
Anyone wants to buy me a US visa, or if anyone wants to marry me so I can get a green card,
Yeah.
then I'd love to come over.
Yeah. We got one last minute super chat here from Vandalia1998, who said, is anyone else afraid that the Reigns versus Corbin feud will end with the return of the Kennel in Hell match from 1999?
Well, there is a house show match, isn't there, at the moment, which is loser eats dog food.
Loser eats dog food match, which is awful. I don't know when this feud is going to end. I'm hoping at the Rumble, because I think Reigns is going to win the Rumble and go on to face The Fiend.
Yeah.
So I think the feud will end then, and I think it's probably going to be Reigns will beat Corbin, and then it just ends.
There are 2 scenarios which I think could happen. Either Reigns throws Corbin out, or Corbin manages to throw Roman out, in which case Roman will then win at Elimination Chamber.
That's true, yeah.
I just cannot see past Roman being at WrestleMania for one of the titles. So I think either he wins Rumble or he gets cheated out of it for example, he throws out Corbin, but then in run Corbin, Ziggler, and whoever else, and work together to throw him out.
Totally. But I think that Reigns and Corbin are going to have their own match at the Rumble anyway,
Okay.
and also be in the match too. So I think that they're going to blow off their feud in their own match, and then they'll be in the match later, and they'll be like, oh, they'll have a stare down. Oh, those two.
Roman will walk down going, ooh, my shoulder. So that you know he's been in a match beforehand.
Totally, yeah. But that's all the time we've got for the Super Chats for today. Yeah, that's all we got. We don't have any Patreon shoutouts today either. So that is all the time we got for this episode entirely. So thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on Catch Up, please click the videos that have just appeared on the desk right now to catch up the latest awesome WrestleTalk things. And this button right here that'll make you a pledge hammer on Patreon. I've been Chopper Pete Quinnell. This has been Randy Andy Datson. And that was SmackDown. We're still live on WrestleTalk.com.